well played.
This is insane! Too much damage is being dealt.
One more shot to go, the Nexus falls!
Welcome, Summoners, to the Season 2 League of Legends World Playoffs. Broadcast live from Los Angeles. Please welcome your casters, Freak and Rivington III.
Hello everyone, I'm Rivington Bism III, and with me as always, and usually forever, is David Freak Turley. We're coming to you from LA Live in downtown Los Angeles as we prepare for the League of Legends Season 2 World Playoffs. We're so excited to be here. 12 teams from around the world broadcasting in all different languages.
And we are here in a global tournament. It's spectacular, and there are people from all corners of the globe. They qualified from their respective regions, having to beat the toughest competition in their section of the world. The top 4 teams for the regional winners actually have automatic buys into the quarterfinals. M5, the winner from Europe, Team WE, #1 in China, Team Solo Mid from North America, and finally the Taipei Assassins. And you can tell we have an American crowd behind us. I mentioned TSM, everyone goes wild. Taipei Assassins winning out from Southeast Asia and Taiwan. So it's a phenomenal competition in front of us. But there's a couple of caveats. These guys are regional champions. They beat the teams around them locally, but now we're in a foreign continent for a lot of these teams. We've got a lot of new competition these guys aren't used to. Let's look at one of the favorites like Moscow 5, BenQ. Sure, they beat everyone in Europe. Their worst tournament result, 2nd place. But they haven't left their home continent yet. Suddenly, now we're here in America. Half the teams here have never played in this continent before in a major tournament. We've got a lot of questions that need answering this weekend.
You know, Freak, these teams have been through a lot of losses, a lot of comebacks, complete team changes, and new teams coming into the light. This event has been a year in the making.
Yeah, these regional qualifiers that we mentioned, you don't get there for free. You've got to beat top competition in your region, even just to get there, and then you've got to win from that. So these guys have a year's worth of top caliber experience.
You know what, Freak? From that year, we are going to get the best and the most amazing 3 days of League of Legends action this weekend.
And it starts today with the group stage. 8 teams split up into 2 groups of 4. 2 of them are going to move on. 2 of them are going to go home from each of those groups. Those 4 winners will move on to the quarterfinals tomorrow. That day, we start the quarterfinals, best of 3 single elimination. So just like today, a couple of mistakes might send you to an early visit home. If you do well in the quarterfinals, you can move on to the semifinals, which will start on Saturday. Those 4 teams will figure out which 2 are playing in the World Finals next weekend in the Galen Center.
And Freak, you mentioned the World Finals. Let's just bring about again that this tournament is worth a total of $2 million.
Exactly. There is so much money on the line, and even just for getting here, the teams are guaranteed $25,000. All the hard work, the year's worth of effort, the top teams you had to beat, they deserve at least that much. But if you can continue and beat more of the world's best, that prize pool just goes up. The winning team wins $1 million on top of the pride of being the best team in the world.
You know, Freak, at these playoffs, we have 12 teams representing 12 countries. This is truly an international event with players hailing from all corners of the globe. Let's see what these players have to say for themselves.
I play League of Legends in Belgium.
I play League of Legends in Miami.
I play League of Legends in Moscow.
I play League of Legends.
I play League of Legends.
I play League of Legends.
I play League of Legends
in China.
In Vancouver.
In Vietnam.
in Spain,
in New York,
Korea,
and Scotland.
The odd one plays League of Legends in Calgary.
This tournament coming up, we've got teams from all over the world. There were 6 regions qualifying. So
you've got Koreans in there, you've got Chinese teams, so you've got Taipei, Vietnam, and then you've got Russia, you've got Germany, France, Spain, all mixed in, combined in 2 teams.
We're broadcasting in 11 different languages. We're going to reach millions and millions of viewers. That's more than some of these major sports can account for in certain scenarios.
League of Legends being an international sport is really sprung up out of nowhere.
I think Riot Games revolutionized online gaming by having a free-to-play game.
Normally, esports had been reserved for kind of Korea. They liked the esports scene before us, but now it's kind of starting to explode. People have parties to hold League of Legends.
Yeah, it's a really nice opportunity to see the world at this young age and basically get paid doing it.
I've been to Hanover, I've been to Sweden,
Korea,
Germany, Amsterdam.
We also went to Anaheim, California, Seattle.
Never really been outside of Europe. The first time in America for our whole team.
It's somewhat of a hassle, but then again, it's a experience that not many get to have, so I'm grateful for it.
Azubu Frost and Najib Sword are celebrities in Korea. HotshotGG, when he was in Korea, would get mobbed when he'd go to a mall. It's just globally, these guys are becoming famous.
European countries, Asian countries, even Northern African countries. I just have fans all over the world, and it's really awesome.
There really is a global feel to this one. It's definitely going to be a tournament everyone wants to watch because there's so many teams that people have been matching just off internet results, and you're like, oh, what if these guys were to face each other? Well, they're gonna, and it's gonna be such a big day.
The caster's desk, as you heard there at the last moment, D-Man saying it's a very global presence, and as esports continues to grow, we've seen events get bigger and bigger. We're here with 12 of the best teams in the world competing for $2 million. As these teams put it all on the line over the next 3 days, we will find out who will be crowned the best League of Legends team in the world. Esports fans, get ready for the League of Legends Season 2 World Championship.
And I think this crowd proves it that we do have some incredible matches in store. Guys, are you ready to go to the main stage and kick this off? That's what I thought. Let's bring it over to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I'm Marcus Graham, a.k.a. DJ Wheat. I love you.
I love you, Marcus.
Well,
and I'm
thank
Rachel Querico, and we are here at the League of Legends Global Finals. You guys excited?
We're going to be kicking things off here in an amazing fashion. Two incredible teams. You guys know them. You guys love them. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into the introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, starting as the blue team, the winners of the Azubu OGN, the Champion Summer Tournament from Korea. Give it up for Azubu Frost! Ladies and gentlemen, on support, give it up for MadLife.
At AD carry, it's Woong.
On AP carry, we've got RapidStar.
And in the jungle, it's CloudTemplar.
And last but not least, in top lane, we've got Shy. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Azubu Frost.
And now, playing as the red team, they most recently won the China Joy Invitational and have beaten top teams from China. Please welcome Invictus Gaming. In top lane, give it up for PDD.
At AP mid, give it up for Zzitai.
In the jungle, it's Illusion.
On support, we've got XiaoXiao.
And last but not least, the AD carry, Kid.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you excited for the first game? Let's send it over to two guys that need no introduction. Freak and Riv, take us into the match. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Marcus and Rachel. We're really incredibly excited about this next matchup, Freak. It really is a battle of two of Asia's best teams.
These are actually two of the favorites for the tournament as well. Talked with a lot of the players backstage yesterday. Reginald Special both predicted that both Azubu Frost and Invictus Gaming would be the top two slots from this group. So you might just be seeing some of the best games that this tournament has to offer right off the bat. Of course, Group A is heavily contested all throughout. There's a lot of great names in there. But even though a lot of these players don't know a lot about Invictus, they're kind of coming from a shrouded sort of realm. There's not a lot of video of Chinese teams playing. They are phenomenally, phenomenally good. We've got some great games in store.
You know, Freak, these teams have done their homework, but, you know, we did a little bit of ours and looked into the strategies and what they can do for keys to victory to this matchup coming up. And we're going to start off with Azubu Frost. Coming up for Azubu Frost, it's something that they've recently done in their history, and they really just need to stay cool under pressure, Freak.
This is a major tournament for Azubu Frost. Now, they are one of the heavy favorites in this tournament overall. They just won the OGN Champions Summer League. They beat Counterlogic Gaming EU, Counterlogic Gaming North America. They beat just a lot of great named, big teams overall to do this. They're phenomenally strong, but they've got a bit of a curse about them. They lose the first game of like every tournament and every match ever. If you go back to the group stage, they lost to ROMG despite beating everyone else in that group. That team didn't even beat anyone else in group stage. They lost to a total underdog. You go over to the grand finals against Counterlogic Gaming Europe. They started out 0-2 and had to claw back up and win the rest of those games. These guys tend to start out a little bit slow, and now they're playing on foreign soil. They've got to kind of regroup and realize, guys, we're one of the best teams in the world. Let's just play our game and get ourselves started.
And we will have to see, coming from that Western gameplay, very much more aggressive, low-economy game, and coming from Invictus as well, we're going to have to see Azubu Frost out-aggress Invictus in that early game.
Exactly. Invictus is a team that loves to push in and dive turrets. You're going to see their jungler Illusion. He likes to pick guys who are tanky early on, like Shyvana, dive in on turrets, do a lot of damage, and kill champions in 3-on-2s. Well, they're going to have to rely on RapidStar to do that same kind of thing and roam from mid and put more aggression on the map and keep the pressure on.
And really, Freak, you just mentioned his name, one of the biggest players for Azubu Frost, statistically and in his gameplay style, RapidStar.
RapidStar really lives up to his name, both parts. First of all, it's rapid. He goes around the map. He's a heavy roamer. He makes a lot of plays. He's a really big deal for that team. Secondly, Star. He's the star player for that lineup. I know it's cheesy, but it actually works here. He's got the most kills and assists, the least deaths throughout that entire OGN Summer League on his team. When you're the best performing player of the best team, you know you're set up to be a world MVP.
And that's the keys to the match for Azubu Frost versus Invictus Gaming. Now, they have also done their homework, but are the team in the shadows, so they kind of come out with that bit of an upper hand. And the first key they can use actually to their advantage is to win through champion selection.
This is something that Invictus Gaming likes to do as a team overall, and to their benefit, they're actually the red team, meaning they have the last pick. They love to counterpick one of those solo lanes. Typically, it's mid for Zzitai against RapidStar. They're going to try to find some advantageous matchup. Additionally, they've got some tricks up their sleeve. Their mid and top lane player will actually switch champions at the last second, and so if they pick sort of an ambiguous mage like Vladimir or Kennen who can run top or mid, and they'll pick like a bruiser like Jarvan, the last second they'll swap it and they'll send Jarvan mid, they'll send Vlad up top, and they're looking to make some really big lane mismatches. A lot of mages run magic resist, but not any armor, so if they're fighting a physical damage bruiser, they're in for a bit of trouble.
And next off, it's going to be looking towards the jungles a little bit, and we're going to have to see them avoiding the counter gank from CloudTemplar.
Exactly. This team is all about aggression and diving turrets. And normally when you make a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-1 on the enemy turret, you'll come out ahead, so Illusion's plays will pay off. The problem is, what's CloudTemplar going to do? The jungler here from Azubu Frost, if he's watchful, if he sees what his team is up to, if he sees them under pressure, if he counter ganks and makes that a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-3 with the turret to their advantage, they're going to win every one of these counter ganks. So Invictus needs to make sure that the jungler doesn't come up from behind and kind of screw them over.
You know, Freak, we do see that 3v3 situation happening most time in the bottom lane, which brings us to our next point, is that AD carry. They need to get Kid Ezreal.
Exactly. They want to grab Ezreal for themselves and deny it from Azubu Frost. Quick story time for you guys. Loco Doco used to be on the team as their star AD carry player. He left Frost, went to Startail, and they had to kind of regroup and get a new carry. They brought Woong down from the top lane and brought him down into AD carry. The thing was, he's only been there for a few months now. Now, he actually used to play Ezreal top lane, so he knows that champion in and out. But if you've only been in the role for a few months, you're not going to have all those champions to that same level of competence. So for Invictus' credit, if they can deny Ezreal away from Woong, they can really shut down part of that multi-pronged attack from Azubu Frost.
All right, guys, so we've told you what we think. Now we want to know what you think. Just like last time at the North American Regionals, head over to Twitter at League of Legends and the hashtag LOLWorlds as well. We'll be answering your questions on air later during the broadcast.
Okay, guys, this is going to be an amazing, amazing match, guys. The teams are ready to go. We are ready to go. Guys, are you ready to get into this game?
And we are into Champion Select. The League of Legends Season 2 Championship begins now. Azubu Frost for the first ban of the game coming out here. Now we have talked about the fact that we don't see much of the play from Invictus Gaming. Yes, Azubu could have done their homework and went and dug out a lot of those files, but it's going to be a pretty big mismatch here just for the picks and bans, since we said, you know, IG is very strong there.
So right off the bat, Azubu Frost banning out one of the ambiguous champions. Sorry, not ambiguous, but they're banning out Yorick here, who's going to set up a lot of strategies overall. He's a great top laner. He can set up for 1v2s. He's just a very strong pick in general that you're going to try to remove. Invictus here have grabbed out and banned out Anivia away from RapidStar. That man is famous for his Anivia play. So right now they're really respect banning each other. And ooh, an Evelyn ban. This is might be the first time we've seen Evelyn banned in competitive play. So, Eve, welcome back to the game. You're now playable, and she's been banned out here. And again, Azubu Frost really recognizing that the immense champion pool here from Zzitai, they want to drop that out and make sure they don't get caught out with a heavy roamer.
And we do have some aggressive support / mid from RapidStar being taken out here with the Lux ban. And it looks like they're really just going for teams that will not allow a fight to be dispersed or broken up easily with these bans.
Yeah, a lot of it is also they're researching their opponents, and they know what their top champions are, what their best roles are. Anivia and Lux definitely really big mainstays. We saw RapidStar pull that out against Blaze. We saw it actually put on the support there against Counterlogic Gaming Europe. It's been a really strong champion for them, so it makes a lot of sense. These guys are doing their research and banning champions that they know these other teams are playing. That ban coming out from Azubu Frost is Jace, who's a super dominant top laner, and they're finally the Skarner being the final ban. So now we're going to see what these teams are going to go for, what their favorite picks are going to be, and how they're going to set up their strategies.
A good amount of initiation cut out of this. And we do see the Ezreal pick going out first. We'll have to see if they are able to get that and take it away from Kid.
It makes a lot of sense. Ezreal's the most hotly contested AD carry here, especially when you've got sort of roster limitations in a way. So yes, that third key is going away. Woong's going to be on Ezreal here. He's going to be comfortable, and he's going to have a great match overall. So that's a small crisis averted for Frost. You saw them kind of click that right away, and we're like, guys, are we sure it's Ezreal? Yes? Okay, yeah. And they're going to grab that one out. But no other AD carries and no supports outside of Lux have been banned out. So there's still a lot of options for the rest of these lanes.
So we could see a double AP comp coming in with some good map control from Nocturne. It's going to be Vlad Nocturne on that pick. Possibly not locked in yet, but it is going to be looking good. PDD is a very switchable player. He has a gigantic champion pool to play from, so he could really pull out anything here.
I really like this overall here from Invictus Gaming. If they lock in these picks, Nocturne spells aggression. Now, if they had picked Nocturne earlier, you might have seen, other AD carries denied. If you get a diving champion like Nocturne who jumps into battles and deals a lot of damage, ooh, they've locked in Jarvan, so they've already grabbed one Dunk Master. They're going to look at Nocturne here for the second. There is a ton of get-in-your-face aggression here from Invictus Gaming. So the Nocturne almost definitely in the jungle. Now, if you go back in time and you look at a picture of a Goose, they used to run Jarvan Leona as a bottom lane aggression combo. That Jarvan could go mid. We've seen a lot of players run that. Zzitai could do it. We've seen Froggen run it in solo queue. Jarvan, a great top laner as well. They've actually set themselves up for a lot of options here. And if you're Azubu Frost, you might want to be a little bit careful of your back line. They can dunk down on an Ezreal or another squishy mage and really deny some options. I think he's just kind of trolling us right now, picking up a lot of different champions. But I want to go back again to the amazing champion pool here from Invictus. It's a lot of melee, tanky, heavy aggression. They will jump into those fights and make life miserable for Azubu Frost.
So, Freak, not really knowing where these lanes are going at least for Vlad, but if that is against the Jarvan in middle, how is that going to match up?
So Vladimir's going to be interesting because he's weak in the early levels. He's very easily aggressed upon. His cooldowns are a bit long. He spends his own health to cast abilities, so he tends to become frail throughout that early mid-game. But Vladimir scales phenomenally throughout. He does a lot of damage. He amplifies his team overall. Vlad's eventually going to be in that back line just throwing out so much damage. And Alistar there picked up possibly as the jungler is just a crazy aggressive force. He's going to come around that map, gank people from behind, and deal incredible amounts of damage.
You know, Freak, we see again the aggression coming out from Invictus, Leona, Corki, XiaoXiao, and Kid like to say, if we can get that lane swap to not happen and have 2 in our lane, we'd like to kill more people.
This is really good overall. Their team is just full out aggression. And I gotta say, I love the Leona Nocturne combo. They can pretty much shut someone down from so far away. Nocturne can dive across half the map to initiate a fight for himself. Leona with Solar Flare can stun someone for a good long time, follow up with their own combo, and continue that crowd control. So they can lock down individual targets. They can really shut down Ezreal or anyone in the back line and really make life miserable. Just within the lane itself, Leona Corki is a lot of damage. This is really a tried and true aggro lane combo. There is a lot of pressure available here.
And we do see a very global Shen picked up as well as a Jax for the dueling.
This is going to be really, really nice. So Shy there on Jax, it's going to play into his strengths pretty well. He tends to play a bit more passively and farm a lot. And Jax is a great late game carry. This Azubu Frost team is just full of damage output, but they've got a giant front line to back it up. So Ezreal, Vladimir, and Jax are all going to just belt out damage in a team fight. Alistar and Shen in the front line. Jax even is going to be quite beefy as well up in the front there. And then if anything goes bad, that Shen, he has a global ultimate, teleports to a friend, gives him a gigantic shield and says, bro, you're not going to die, I'm here for you. And they can initiate these fights. Azubu Frost lineup is just so well-rounded. It's phenomenally strong right here.
Yeah, that lineup is so scary, Freak. Every one of them can dash, jump, pool, or just arcane shift out of a fight if they need to. It's going to be amazing. The last pickup here, possibly that counter, is going to be Swain.
So Swain making his comeback to competitive play as well. This is going to be really good. And again, it actually sets up Invictus for that lane swap. We used to see Swain a lot as a top lane, and these 45 seconds will tick down, and we can't even guarantee if Zzitai or PDD is going to be in the mid lane, on Jarvan and Swain respectively. Now, if you look at the team composition in general, Invictus Gaming is all in. They want to initiate with a Solar Flare, dive in with Nocturne, dive in with Jarvan. Swain's going to be in the mix as well, and there's so much crowd control coming out that it's going to be hard for Azubu Frost to know what to focus on, especially if Jarvan goes attack damage based, gets a Hex Drinker, Brutalizer, Bloodthirster in there. He's going to be dealing so much damage. He's a gigantic threat, and he's going to be backed up with a big shield. Everyone here in Invictus is honestly either very tanky or very safe in the back line, and it's just full of damage output. There's a lot of gank potential. There's a lot of pressure. Azubu Frost once more. It's just a late game, just crush team. They've got a front line. They've got a back line. It's about damage.
All right, guys, the teams have made their selections and are about to start the Season 2 Championship. They're ready. We're ready. Are you guys in the audience ready? Freak, we said it before, Azubu Frost a little slow on the first game of a just of a best of 3, but they only get one chance here, and this is going to make it big because Invictus has a back-to-back over this in the group stage.
So this is actually, really, really important overall. They've got to make sure they start out hot. And that might be hard when your name is Azubu Frost. It's a bit of a misnomer. You've got to make sure that you're ready to go and able to push in here. Actually, this is great. Woong picked Frosted Ezreal. Thank you, Woong. You're so kind with the puns. I appreciate it. And we're finishing up the loading screen, but this game, it's really, really important. These are two of the favorites in the group stage. They're phenomenally skilled teams, and it's going to set the pace for the rest of this tournament. Each of these teams wants to start out on the right foot.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be getting into game in just a second. We do see, actually, Shy had picked Frozen, not Shy, rather. Illusion picked Frozen Nocturne for us as well. So they're keeping the cold reel going with the puns.
That's nice.
So we have these guys getting prepared to be in game. Freak, are we expecting any one of a level 1 invasion? You have an Alistar for that ground pulverize. Mm-hmm. You have Shen to taunt everybody up, as well as Shy to jump in there and stun if need be.
It's scary. Both of these teams are actually really, really good at level 1. Now, there's one disadvantage for Azubu Frost, which is Vladimir, who's going to be doing almost nothing in a level 1 fight, but that rest of the lineup you just mentioned. Shen's got Shadow Dash, Alistar's got Pulverize, Ezreal dealing a bunch of damage from the back lines with Mystic Shots and basic attacks, and yes, Jax, Shy can jump in. The Counter-Strike is a stun as well. Azubu Frost, if they play perfectly, have like 4 seconds of dedicated area of effect crowd control. It's really, really scary overall. That said, though, Invictus has a similar lineup. They've got a lot of area of effect damage. They've got a giant root here with Swain. Guys, we are ready to get into the game. Let's get this started.
And as we start off this matchup, we can hear the pings going down. Teams playing this very careful. It is a game of 1 here in the group stages. They will play a few games throughout the day, but right now they want to start the momentum. That early game in the day is the hardest. A lot of the teams from Asia, from Korea, from Taiwan, China are all saying we're a little worried about the jet lag that's going to be coming in here. They're not used to playing, as we said, on American soil, and you know, the first time for a lot of them. So this is going to be very big that these teams can come out fast with that first blood.
So Invictus is playing a bit aggressively from the start. Jarvan tosses a flag out there, tries to check in. Corky, oh, this is super cute. Oh my gosh. This is going to be really interesting because he spots CloudTemplar there, and the rest of the team is ready to follow up. They know Cloud, he's the jungler there. He's going to start at the Wraith camp. Invictus, they're already starting out with the tricks. If you look at Frost lineup, it's all defensive. They're watching brushes. They're just camping around, trying to wait for things to happen, and they're just next to each other. This is I can't do anything but giggle here. This is going to be amazingly ridiculous.
You know, Freak, this is absolutely awesome. It's really just a high-level use of the fog of war, knowing where they're going to stand, knowing that nobody really walks to that position, just already inside the mind of your opponent.
Here comes the invade. They're going to try to get CloudTemplar.
And they go in, they get the Zenith on a RapidStar. Another Valkyrie from Kid. They will get the exhaust on, and first blood goes to Invictus. Beautiful aggression. Azubu Frost didn't know what hit them.
That was exactly the right opening, and just that overall strategy was perfect. Invictus starting things out right. They used Jarvan flag to check over the brush, make sure no one was there. Then they sent Corky over to Valkyrie, then he became a living ward. Sat there, you know, took on the role of Evelyn as a living ward, and made sure that they knew what exactly the other team was up to. Okay, ran into the Wraith camp, get it started. It was a very good opening start.
3.2 for Azubu Frost now not in the bag. They were not able to out-aggress there, but they can still turn it around. That first blood does not mean the matchup, so we'll have to see what they can bring out here as the buffs are somewhat being denied on their side. Good damage in mid from Zzitai as he starts to go aggressive on RapidStar. He is level 2 to his level 1. More than happy to deal out that pain.
That's what's going to happen when you come up there with first blood and a lot of extra aggression and farm on the jungle. And IG is actually lane swapped here, so PDD is going to be alone at this bottom lane as Jarvan. He's going to have to try to last hit against that turret. Meanwhile, Kid 1v1 up against Jax. Takes a bit of damage as a result there. He's got to be a little bit careful there. They've got an interesting sort of ranged versus melee dynamic in both of these side lanes.
Shy may be shy in just that, but he knows when to take the aggressive pokes and win that damage trade. Leona now returning to top lane. A very good push here coming from Zzitai. Vladimir, not a horrible farmer of the turret. He can keep himself going, but Swain's going to want to roam that lane. Zzitai gets all over the place. Back to top lane. Shy just milling about, trying to keep himself in a safe position. They do have an early ward down in that tri-bush behind them for Invictus. So we're going to make sure they see, actually, CloudTemplar coming up now. Or rather, they see Illusion.
Overall, this lane swap rather is really good for Invictus. They're trying to shut down Jax, that late game carry, and that's really, really advantageous here. If you compare to PDD on Jarvan, he's got 2 abilities that can farm from range, so he's more or less safe in this 1 versus 2. Oh, and actually a gank coming off in this top lane there, a lot of damage on a Shy.
Shy getting out, having to pump those potions. He is up with 2 more, so he's going to be all right in the lane for a while. He is going to want to go back and get a ward when he can, but he doesn't want to throw himself out of the lane so he can continue to soak up that XP.
MadLife doing a good job pushing on aggressively. There's a stun on the wall. PDD's got to run away from this.
Yeah, he is aggressive. He does have the blue buff, but he's got to be careful how much damage he takes because the blue buff, it's not going to heal you. Those potions are going to be gone quite fast, and you can still see aggression from Zzitai in mid. RapidStar isn't getting a chance to get in there.
This is really playing the Swain advantage really well right now. Swain is great at being a lane bully, especially if your mechanics can support last hitting, continue to keep your mana up with that passive. See again, Jarvan forced a last hit under turret, but he's going to be reasonably safe doing that. The Golem buff that was donated over, giving him some mana regeneration and lower cooldowns, allowing him to use both basic attacks and abilities to farm up onto minions. You can see here Jax at 15 and Jarvan at 17. There is a slight advantage here due to that lane swap.
PDD trying to get the poke down. As he does have the cooldowns and the mana for it, he should just be spamming those out, but making sure he can farm. Good push here coming from Kid and Xiao top. They do have the ward down, so they can now pressure Jax against his turret. Quite low mana for Zzitai. Has to be careful in middle as he goes aggressive once again to RapidStar, who's really keeping tabs on him, making sure he has to stay at the turret. It's really helping.
Absolutely. This is still, it's Vladimir's early game being very, very unsafe. You're going to see this pressure continue for a while. Once Vlad gets up to level 6 or 7, he'll start turning around. He can sustain himself and kind of be under the boot a little bit less. But you're going to keep seeing a lot of moves early on. Invictus also going for a lot of pressure. They're going for this top turret, dealing a lot of damage to it. This has been really commonplace for Asian teams as of recent, where they'll take that 2-on-1 matchup and turn it into a push lane instead of a zone lane.
Here comes Illusion from behind. The Dustbringer is out, so he has the speed. They're on to Shy. Here's the 3v1, but the counter gank won't be in. The turret is quite low. He could turn this around. Shy comes out with a kill in a 3v1 situation to run out. Now in pursuit is going to be Illusion, but they completely back off.
Oh, wow, and that was just a couple of missteps there. Corki managed to pull turret aggro. Everyone else kind of backing out long enough that Jax could just jump on. Knew that he could pin down Corki, leap onto that. Great kill picked up for Shy. That is a nice equalizer. The gold's still 300 behind, but Shy, you thought his lane was going to be bad, but now he's going to be in pretty good shape with gold picking up that kill for 300 gold.
And you got to notice that CloudTemplar was there by the time Shy reached the river on exit, so he was actually completely ready for that gank to go down. They're really, as I said before, playing in the minds of Invictus right now, but Invictus with that first blood still are 200 gold up.
This top lane actually is a little bit scary for XiaoXiao. With Shy hitting level 6 right now, no, I guess Kid did show back up, but a 2-on-1, that could have been a potential jungle gank. You saw CloudTemplar come in support for a short time, but looks like that top lane once again be safe. Let's gank in mid though.
MadLife is Azubu Frost now roaming the map. It looks like Zzitai could fall, and he does go down to RapidStar. Still, more aggression from that bottom lane. MadLife helping RapidStar with some plays there.
That's a nice little inverse there from Azubu Frost. Normally it is RapidStar and roam, but when you've got that 2-on-1 lane, that's one of the things you can do. When you shove to the turret, you've got nothing to farm, you can kind of back off and do something else. Invictus was actually pushing the turret and dealing damage to it and setting up a tower dive. In this case, it was Azubu Frost pushing that bottom lane and setting up a roam opportunity with Woong and MadLife making that kill happen. Really, really nice play.
Now, Freak, with the swap, they're not going to be able to grab red buff as much. Obviously, blue buff not really assisting Shen as much as a mana-heavy opponent, but how are they going to factor that in if they still want to control the buffs?
It's actually really convenient overall because now both these teams have their attack damage carries near that lizard buff overall, so Invictus will be able to easily walk up, pick the lizard for Corki, and the same thing happens for Woong on Ezreal. So it's actually more equal right here, actually, that overall the buffs are going to be transferred kind of to the same people over and over. Again, PDD taking that bottom lane so that he can grab Golem buff. He's actually walking over there right now. They're going to keep sending him that buff so he can lane a little bit better, cost that more shield, and cost that more poke.
We can see Shy doing a little bit better, I believe, than Jarvan is. No, Shy actually 23 CS to Jarvan's 46. However, he does have a kill, and I believe they're both level 6 right now. If we see Shy falling behind, what problems is that going to present for Azubu Frost in the late game?
They needed to get him to late game. 300 gold is nice, but now down 21 minions, that doesn't actually really keep up anymore. There's actually pressure at this top lane. Shen coming in.
The Stand United is on. The taunt does not hit. Demon Slay, very nice. Leaving Kid on the outside to just continuously do damage. CloudTemplar flashes out of the situation, and Shy is forced to walk out as well. Very nice try there coming in, but wait, Illusion coming in. The counter gank once again. Shy is forced to run. He has nothing to jump to. The Dustbringer hits. Extra speed for Nocturne. Good job by CloudTemplar bringing himself back for that assisted jump.
That was really good play on both sides, and that is typical Illusion. Oh, here comes Zzitai. He's going to find CloudTemplar. He's going to pick up one. Can he get the second? Oh, it is. Double kill coming out. That team roaming so much, picking up kill after kill. Invictus Gaming, the pressure is on. They've got their first turret kill. They're up 3-2 in kills. They're going to keep going.
Freak, you just said it. A clean wipe of the turret and a small minion wave down bottom. But it looks like they may just micro the damage in and out on this one if they lose it anyways. They're going to continue to attack. Illusion backs off. He trades the damage off here. And they are going to be able to grab a second turret. Now 10 minutes into the game.
This is absolutely the right play here in Invictus. Making the dives happen. 2 turrets. That is huge right there. There is a giant open window now. Shy is going to have a lot of trouble now dealing with this mid game. Now a really good ping by Azubu Frost. They know everyone's stuck on the other side. They get a free Dragon out of it, and that's nice. Dragon equalizes the gold lead that you get from picking off a turret. It makes that pretty much the same, but the loss of these structures sets up for some bad mid games. Oh my god. Wow, PDD, one after another. Can you get out of this one? Taking a lot of punishment here. This looks like it's going to be a trade kill, but a nice dunk onto Woong. This is just crazy now, back and forth, these teams diving into fights over and over. Poor Woong actually had pulled turret, not turret, but dragon aggro from the beginning from that, so he was very low on health, allowing that dunk to happen there, PDD. A nice pickup there. So back on that turret point, though, there's a lot of now open map on the left-hand side. Side stays up top. He's very, very diamond. Expected to be very unsafe. Illusion will revisit that top lane a lot this game.
Now, Freak, how big does this factor in? Usually you see the bottom lane AD carries support, all bottom lane. That turret goes down first or mid. Now with that top lane down to the second inhibitor, or second turret, now to the inhibitor, they can almost control Baron as well and just kind of farm that top lane down.
They can absolutely kind of put a lot of pressure and make the minion waves, give them a lot of map control overall. Exactly. The Baron, those turrets are gone on the Baron side. There's a lot of opportunities there for them. Oh my gosh, XiaoXiao taking so much punishment now to get to the turret.
Oh, so unfortunate.
Wow, what a kill picked up. MadLife, exact execution there. The pulverized, headbutting back into the turret. That was a great overall job. But now we've got a bad gank in mid.
Here comes Shen in as well. It's a 3v1, and they get their own gank. CloudTemplar onto Zzitai. And there it is. They're just focusing on the aggression. They can find now, surgically removing them one by one.
Perfect moves overall. Exactly. This is really the focus here for this Azubu Frost early lineup. If there is a lot of early aggressors, a lot of crowd control is available. CloudTemplar now twice has actually used Stand United before the fight starts, saying, I don't care about the shield, I want to show up out of nowhere, and just piggybacks on top of a friend, making it 3-on-1 out of nowhere every single time. He's really now the playmaker here. It's not counter ganks, it's just actual ganks. CloudTemplar is really the force right now for this early game of Azubu Frost team.
So Freak, wow, Woong going down very low here. His mana just about the same, but the HP is not matching. The blast in, the last attack, the ignite takes the auto attack to get it.
Nice job, kid. Those plays. Notice that Woong burned his flag and said, you know what? I can land that one last missile. Did so. Excellent job. Let's see if they move on and push for some more advantages. They could go for turrets with a number advantage on the map.
You know, Freak, Kid may be amazing on Ezreal, and that's going to totally help him play against it in lane as well. So the factors are both sides. The dunk down, the kills just going back and forth right now. CloudTemplar to come in to help, but knows it's not enough.
That is again Illusion being so aggressive, teaming up there as well with PDD. This is Invictus Gaming. They will dive your turrets. You are not safe under your turrets. If you're going to play Invictus later on in this tournament, guys, your turrets are not safe. You've got to be careful. Their third turret kill now up. 6-5 in kills as well. Invictus keeping the pressure on.
Freak, it took them 9 minutes to take those two, but it only took them another 3 minutes to take that one. This is not looking good for Azubu Frost. They definitely have not stealthed that aggression that's coming from Invictus Gaming. They've been able to come out way too strong on each one of their ganks. Azubu Frost is keeping them some in it with those inch-by-inch fights. We did see him just take down Swain in mid. Zzitai got a little aggressive, but they were able to come in with Shen. So they have a lot of possibilities, but we're seeing that all in the late game, and right now they may not get there.
It's going to be risky. Now, they're only down 1,000 gold, so they're holding on more or less. Azubu Frost, you know, they're not defending themselves to the ganks all that well. These ganks are succeeding really on all sides, but at the same time, they're still making ganks of their own. They're still pushing themselves ahead. You can see, again, 5 kills picked up because of the plays being made by Azubu Frost. They're not down really any significant margin of gold, so they want to keep those pushes going. And the saving grace here for Frost is that they have a great late game lineup. Again, Jax and Vladimir, if they can get rolling, and they're starting to, they're finally picking themselves up in minions. Actually, RapidStar beating his lane opponent in minions. Jax from Shy pretty close by as well, so they will continue to catch up throughout this game. And when we hit like the 35-minute mark, you're going to see just the general champion power actually shift over. I think actually the impetus is really on Invictus to make the plays right now and keep that pressure on.
So we actually have Woong going up and grabbing the blue buff. They don't really need it in mid so much. They don't really need it up top. And they're going to give it to Woong. He's down 2 kills, but he's up in CS. So they're really trying to gain the advantage back in his bottom lane. Still has perfect turrets on it.
And that's going to be really the next point of contention, I feel. With the 2 top turrets down, the first middle turret down, Invictus is going to look for their next big advantage, I think, at this bottom lane. I would expect to see some ganks coming through in the near future. Now, it's difficult to gank an Ezreal and an Alistar. There's a lot of crowd control and mobility still available, but they've still got a little bit of time with Woong's flash still down. Professional teams will time enemy summoner spells. And so, and it's really convenient too, because Kid flashed at about the same time. Kid can easily time Woong's escape ability to say, okay, look, Flash is still down, Nocturne show up, let's make a 4-on-2, let's get some kills. I expect to see that if they want to go for this next turret.
And it's really what Invictus Gaming has been doing. They're playing inside the mind of Azubu Frost. The homework has really paid off for them, and these lanes are, even though not so much aggressive for XiaoXiao and Kid bottom, they've been playing it wonderfully against the Alistar Ezreal that just came down there. We saw picking up a kill, Woong, or rather Kid for himself onto Ezreal. Woong trying to pressure. He has that blue buff. He can just be throwing out his spells.
And he is. He's poking as hard as he possibly can and getting a lot of damage out of it. This mid lane, once again, you can see that blue buff is so nice, especially for Zzitai, who can spend his mana basically on health. That Raven form, his ultimate, it just makes, it sends these Ravens out, they deal a bunch of damage, and they return life back to him. And so it is so hard to shove him out of lane. He will keep being a force.
There's the Zenith Blade. Very nice headbutt, but they're coming in still. The pulverized wait, but Illusion is just on the outside, and the 3v1 comes in strong. MadLife forced to walk out of this one.
That is, again, them timing that flash. It actually is coming up in the next 10 seconds, but RapidStar taking the punishment in mid.
Zzitai forced to go back on this one. CloudTemplar is everywhere, and this shows you if they can span these fights out long enough and continue to have CloudTemplar in it, they're really able to stop a lot. However, this time they get Dragon. Last time they were top taking turrets. This time they're going to go ahead and grab the objective and have the timing on that as well.
Really, really good for Invictus. This is proper gameplay as well. Whenever you remove an enemy champion from the map, you want to do something for your team afterward. Getting a kill and picking up 300 gold and then going and farming, it doesn't help you all that much. Picking up a kill and killing 2 turrets, picking up a kill and taking away Dragon, that is a big boost in resources. They're now up 2,400 gold because they're not just getting a kill, they're getting a turret and an objective afterward. You're going to keep seeing these teams throughout this tournament convert kills into something else over and over and over again. That's the proper way to play League at a top level.
So, Freak, we have actually some builds coming out here. Oh, down bottom, some aggression on Illusion. He catches himself out. Shy is also down there as the top lane is really nothing to be had, and Woong finds himself a kill.
That was excellent. They actually snuck through the brush there and waited and kind of baited out Illusion to show up. So, Woong is chilling, not a big deal, but everyone else waiting in the brush and diving out of nowhere, that's really big.
So pressure on the bottom turret as we see them taking top as well. CloudTemplar forced to flash. And that's going to be noted by the team. We just said they're keeping control of those summoner spells. It's down to that point where they have to know what's going to happen in these team fights.
And that just really sets them up still for this mid game. I don't think we're quite into full-on team fights just yet. I don't expect a lot of crazy pushes. It's not going to be a Baron attempt, but a lot of pressure at the top lane. CloudTemplar really getting chunked down. PDD taking it down in a one-on-one. Burned his ultimate earlier to just get rid of the flash, and then said, great, I've got cooldowns, let's do this. Picking that kill up.
Very nice job, and just knowing mechanics of that champion, able to close the gap between Shen if he doesn't have enough energy, and just continue to beat down on him with that long range. And if he needs it, that Q. 6-8 at 18 minutes, Freak. 2,000 gold in the lead right after that Dragon in control of these turrets. Still holding off a shutout on turrets against the Azubu Frost. Invictus Gaming has really came into this one strong. They haven't worried about the buffs in Azubu Frost jungle too much, but they're really controlling them once they're in the lane.
Exactly. They are absolutely making a lot of great moves. Really, both these teams are. They've both kept the pressure on 6-8 at 18 minutes. They're constantly showing up for kills. Now, sometimes they're getting away with the skin of their teeth and they're surviving just the last second, but these guys are obviously looking for lane fights over and over. They are trying to get into battles. They're trying to bully their opponents out of lane, picking that kill up. It's nice to farm minions, but you can farm champions. They're worth about 10 times as much, so why not do that instead?
So we do see the Wriggles Lantern onto Nocturne, a little objective focused as well as max control for him. That armor really helps just his build in general, especially against this team. You have the Shen, Jax, Alistar, and Ezreal. You're really only looking for Vladimir with that AP damage. Jax a bit hybrid, but not going to factor into that huge fight too much. You see the bottom turret going down. Invictus Gaming just globally roaming right now.
That's really strange. You don't see this very often. A 5-man just runs to a turret to pick up that kill, because here's the counterattack from Azubu Frost. It's a 2-on-0. This turret's taking a lot of damage, but looks like they're not going to keep the pressure on. They're worried about getting counter-ganked here. So they're going to actually just trade a turret for nothing. Really, really nice move by Invictus, reading their opponents, knowing there was no push available, at least not enough push available at the top, and they're still going as 5. They're going to look for another objective for us.
I think they really considered how much damage was in that lane. You have Vladimir and Shen, not exactly the greatest tower pushers in the world. Somebody throwing off a ghost there as
RapidStar has to run
away. Yep.
Again, this roaming squad actually working quite well, and I might have called it wrong. They're milling around here Baron. It seems really risky. I don't think they have quite the Baron damage overall. Okay, yeah, now you're seeing Leona recall back. They're going to be safe, but it's a nice little move, you know, out of nowhere. Invictus Gaming is like, okay, normally people sit in lanes, they'll force a turret, they'll force an objective or something. They're just like, guys, let's group up and like flank someone. They actually showed up at the bottom turret, pushed that bottom lane away, picked up the kill there, and then just showed up as a team in the mid lane, forced everyone else, CloudTemplar, RapidStar to run away. They burned RapidStar's Ghost, they looked for Golem buff, and they're back to the lane. So, you know, they spent 2 minutes roaming around the map, they picked up some advantages for it. Pretty good move.
Kid farming bottom still, the 80 carries quite close, 171 to 167, but still those 2 kills for Kid. He is really helping himself out here, and Azubu Frost continues to roam. It looks like MadLife is just hip and hip right now with Woong. He is not leaving him, and they are quite an aggressive group together, so they will go in onto some kills. XiaoXiao trying to get a little bit of gold for himself here. Support's juggling.
Yeah, well, support getting some gold. It's really what these teams are doing, you know, since the last year or so, is they've been really sharing the jungle as a team objective. You call one of the members on your team a jungler. His primary profession is sitting in the jungle, killing off minions and ganking for the sides. But setting up more gold for your team is a really, really good move as well. Azubu Frost finding a kill here on PDD, possibly.
PDD knocked up, the crowd control is on, but that's a pretty tanky person to focus with your first amount of abilities. He's able to make it out, and they have CloudTemplar's ultimate down as well. So we could see Invictus Gaming looking to initiate a fight here.
They're really going to want to set up either a direct team fight or a split push here. With Shen's ultimate down, it's a lot of team fight pressure and a lot of split pushing lost there that they no longer have. And so it's really good for Invictus to force objectives in various places on the map, knowing that for the next about 2 minutes, Shen will not be showing up out of nowhere. This is kind of a go time here for Invictus.
You know, Freak, even without the Anivia, even without other champions that are going to spread out that fight, they still have Jarvan and Cataclysm someone out. Jumping over the wall, they see Shy up top. He is going to be forced to blast, but he was feared out first by Terror, and he may go down. The Ignite won't kick enough, but the follow-up may just do that for himself. A beautiful Corki missile, and they find Shy up top.
Again, Invictus, as a team, roaming around and forcing their will on the opposition with Shy dead, they can absolutely go for pressure once more. They've pinged Baron. This really could be the country. They've actually started 22 minutes in.
Super. Well, they do have the Triforce finish, really relying on that. Oh, wow, Woong getting crushed down. Not even a chance, and they go for Baron, Freak.
This is now, I think, the actual Baron fight. The first time was they know they had some ward sweeping. You know, they said knocked them to sweep out with Oracles, no big deal. They knew they'd force the opposition to stop them, which just meant they could start a 5-on-4 with no real worries. The difficulty, though, Zzitai is running a little bit low on mana, and it's going to be a 3-on-5. This could be very, very close here.
They're going to let them take as much damage as they can. They are just watching that bar of Baron right now. MadLife on the outside. RapidStar coming in, throws down the Hemo flank. It's all with Baron still alive. He is just trading damage to the closest. They slay Baron Nasser. It goes to Azubu. And it looks like they're forced out of the fight, though. They lose 3 as they walk away. Invictus full team.
That was a really nice setup there by Frost. They focused the jungler. Oh my gosh, the true shot barrage is out! Shy getting chased on, but he shouldn't go down here. 2-on-5, the Azubu Frost can win right now. XiaoXiao really getting shut down. Shy's gonna like his chances. Ultimately, it's a 3-for-1 with a Baron seal. I like that for Frost.
That was a really great job. A little miscommunication there by Invictus Gaming. Going into the attack, we saw the Zenith Blade just separate himself way too much from the team, but with that, they will be quite close now in that gold, still at the 2,000 mark. They're down 3 turrets, so they're really closing this gold gap now around 25 minutes into the game. It's 13-7. Invictus Gaming coming out early with the first blood, coming out very early with just team roaming aggression, and once again, they will control the dragon. The first dragon going to Azubu, the second and third dragon to the victory.
But this is going to be really, really big for them. The turn trade is a good move there. Shy knows he is safe. He's wearing Baron buff. His flash is down, but he knows that he's very, very strong right now in this game, trying to finish up Infinity Force when he can. Overall, there's a lot of power in a lot of really good places. That Baron buff, the Baron kill really helps so much. While yes, they are down in kills, you'll expect to see many members on Azubu Frost negative in the kill-death ratio. They're keeping up in gold regardless. Again, it's an 1,800 gold difference, which is basically pennies at this point in the game. You've got to consider these teams on equal standing. The only real separation here is that actually Baron buff is being worn by 2 members of Frost. That's actually a pretty big deal. You need to be a little bit bigger bullies in the fights right now. That might transition away, though, in the near future, because there's a lot of burst damage available on the other side here. Invictus, they're going to like their chances with Jarvan, Nocturne, and Leona. They're going to have a good chance here at shutting down Ezreal. There's really 2 to 3 major worries here on both teams. The Blue Frost needs to be worried about losing a squishy carry with the burst combos available on the other side. Invictus Game needs to be worried about the fact that there are 3 major threats. Vladimir, Jax, and Ezreal can all carry a game by themselves. And while their team is great at shutting down 1 champion, can they shut down 3?
So, Freak, I feel like once this gets to turrets, once Azubu Frost isn't found with 1 or 2 people, you know, just walking around a turret, I think they're going to be able to hold these. If it's just the push that comes into the game, where is Invictus Gaming going to win if they have to start split pushing it and really spreading themselves out thin?
Split pushing is not going to be the best answer for them overall. It's half decent because they have not given kind of segue from one lane to another without a lot of difficulty, but they're still against Shen, who's probably the prince of split pushing, second only to Twisted Fate, who actually takes a crown as king. But Shen is going to be able to, if Frost wants, he can split up to the side lane and work out.
But it's not even going to matter about the turret for Invictus as Azubu goes in. A great true shot barrage going through, and it's going to be too quickly for Azubu. The turret isn't even a factor in this fight. A double kill coming in for Woong, and they will focus now onto the turret.
That was a great aggression there. They knew they had Shen waiting in the wings. Alistair starting that fight properly. MadLife living up to his name. He's an aggressive player. Really like jumping into those fights. This could be a really good push for Frost.
That was such an extended initiation. Shirelius needed to get in with 3 or 4 steps before Alistar. It was so telegraphed to the team, but it still caught Invictus off guard. They were just not ready. They have not seen that type of aggression yet in this game from Azubu Frost.
Yeah, that was an all-out engagement that was really a one-of-a-kind sort of attempt here by Frost. And the good thing for them was they shut down Zzitai right away. He actually got pulverized back into the lineup. He was killed off with True Shot, Barrage, and Ignite. That's exactly what they want to do. There are a lot of damage sets here on Invictus, just like there are on Azubu Frost. But chief among them is going to be the heavily farmed Zzitai, he's got Rod of Ages, he's got Sorcerer's Shoes done, and he's almost got his Abyssal Scepter. When that's completed, he's going to be tanky. He's going to be putting out a lot of damage, and he's going to be fighting opponents with no magic resist, making him continue to deal a lot of damage and keep his health bar sustained. Azubu Frost is very melee heavy. You can kind of consider Vladimir a mid-range mage. He's going to be in range of auto attacks with the opponents. So everyone but Ezreal is going to be subject to the damage output from Zzitai. And that's going to be a very big risk here, and it's going to be the focus, I think, of the match from now on. It's all about Zzitai.
So we do see Invictus Gaming coming in now, a 3 Aegis build.
Triple Aegis? Seriously?
Triple
wow.
Aegis.
They went triple Aegis. These guys want to be tanky. They really do. I don't know if there's communication, or they just really like the stats on it.
That will benefit each person, though, with an Aegis to the other Aegis.
Yeah, so those 2 champions will have basically a double Aegis aura.
Right.
They'll get 16 attack damage, 36 armor, and 48 magic resist, but still, that's pretty rough overall. We've got a replay set up, though, of that prior fight to see just what went down. He has to jump off the solo initiation. Alistair jumping in, gonna just use as much damage as possible, pop the bullshit, and just go through it all out and fraction. You can see Swain just dropping way too fast, and now there's not enough damage output really available. Cork has to come in from the sides all too late. His teammates are already dead. It was ultimately somewhat of a 5-on-4 with too much aggression early on.
So Azubu Frost getting a little bit of a flame behind them there. Will they be able to melt the competition now? 30 minutes into the game, 13-10. Those 2 kills, 3 kills that they were able to get in that last fight are really bolstering that gold. Now they're 42,000 to 40,000 as they've taken the lead there. 5 turrets to 4. Azubu Frost now in the lead once again with that statistic. It's all like they turned this game around in a matter of 3 minutes.
It was just a couple of good engagements is all it took. MadLife really taking the initiative there, and a great mechanic. Oh, but we're getting jumped on right here!
Forced to get out of that, and the ultimate from Illusion onto him. The Paranoia makes it. He does keep with it, and he sticks in to follow up his shot. They lose another one. It's now 1-for-1 in the battle. Swain coming out very big. You can see Zzitai hardly taking any damage with that sustain. And he gets a double kill. Chasing down MadLife, an ultimate finish from Kid, and it's now on to CloudTemplar, the slow, not affecting him enough. And they make it out into 3-1.
No,
4-1.
4-1, exactly. PDD, you are your team's new MVP. 20 seconds ago, it was like, Zzitai has got to do well in the fight, and it's going to be great. Nope, PDD out of nowhere full dunk combo onto Ezreal, followed up by Leona, and followed up by Nocturne. Those champions, those three working together every single time, trying to shut down Woong, trying to kill Ezreal. Every single time now, most of the time now, it's actually been working. When they're able to put their combos down, the AD carry drops off. And without that dedicated source of single target damage, they don't have an easy way of removing Zzitai from the lineup anymore. He's so kiteable. He can deal damage while running with that ultimate. It just deals damage for him, so he can kite Jax. RapidStar, he's area of effect based on Vladimir. He can't shut down a single target. He helps the entire team. And when your big single target damage source from Ezreal is out of the fight, and Shy on Jax can't really chase down the target he wants, Zzetai's going to have free reign. So those two working together, making those fights happen. They needed one more team fight like that. If they can control Baron, they're really going to be in the advantage. But right now, it's a tie game.
You know, Freak, we've really seen definitive gameplay from both teams up until this 30-minute mark. We have Azubu Frost just coming in full 5-on-5 fights when we saw them. They dove under the turret. Now, this could be a huge problem for Invictus Gaming. Each one of their fights has started catching somebody out in a quick 75% health burst, and then they're able to take the fight without that person being in it. So these 5-on-5s, we said it earlier, it's a late game team from Azubu Frost, and if Invictus Gaming starts to lose their jungle that much more, they will not have the Fog of War to work with.
And there's a couple of good things happening here for Azubu Frost as well. They picked up a Chain Vest and Negatron Cloak here onto Woong. His item build is Trinity Force Last Whisper. Oh crap, I need durability! And he's going for that. And if he can, and that's all he really needs. He just needs enough damage. He can rely on Trinity Force Last Whisper for a long time and just rely on base damages and Triforce procs to deal all the damage he needs. He just needs to survive that dunk team because the late game is so good from Frost. They need to withstand the early burst and then just team fight well. If he's alive, if that initial burst doesn't kill anyone, they can DPS through the time field. They're really relying on the time to stand a 5-on-4. If they don't have that, it's really good for Frost.
Looks like double Triforce as well being finished for Invictus Gaming. A very, very tanky, but mostly Glass Cannon Swain, except for that Abyssal Scepter, giving him a little bit of magic resistance. He's got a lot of health to sustain the fights. Like you said, Freak, he is just walking around wreaking havoc and no. You see? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sure. Basically, the big decision point here with the needlessly large rod is this going to be Death Cap or is it going to be Zhonya's Hourglass? Death Cap says that he feels safe and he just wants to be that hyper carry, and that's a possibility here. They've been doing a pretty good job in fights overall. Zhonya says, you know what? I'm still worried about their burst. I'm worried about Jax and Ezreal, and you're going to see what decision he goes for. It'll kind of tell you how he's feeling about this match. Whether he feels safe or whether he feels pressured. He's going to look at a glimpse of psychology in the very near future.
See him once again going back and forth in the jungle with a little bit of vision. That says we have enough to do Baron. A 33-minute attempt at 17-11. The gold lead is pretty much even. They gain a 2,000 jump with that. And it looks like they are on the upper hand now. A 4-minute pause button to Invictus Gaming. Big for Azubu Frost. They are good on the fight under the turret. They're more than happy now to do it with Baron. That regeneration and strength that they get, Freak. This is going to be a very big push.
This is going to be the really, really big attempt here. This will be a game-defining battle here. That middle turret is down, so the inhibitor is free for them. I don't even think Invictus can really defend here. I think they'll lose if they go into a fight without kind of perfect initiation.
Oh, great arcane shift, and leaves XiaoXiao in there by himself. A perfect use of abilities, but they trade 1-for-1. Again, DDP coming in for PDD use. Huge coming in. A good job by CloudTemplar focusing on the Nocturne, and it looks like this fight heavily going in favor of Azubu Frost. No, the turnaround. They catch out Vladimir and Jax. The double kill as they chase down MadLife. I don't think he's going to be able to make it out. They do have the proc from the phase on Triforce, and the triple kill for Kid.
Number one team fight call, NA. Invictus Gaming is showing up. Again, that dunk combo, I thought with Ezreal having a Negatron Cloak and Chain Vest that he would have been okay there. Turns out, not the case. There's just too much damage. PDD going for so much. He's got the Trinity Force and Hexbreaker. He is so deadly here.
Sick little dodge there, putting on his Nikes and lacing him up. PDD taking out CloudTemplar for a trade in damage. He's not really hurt right now, but he's just getting harassed around as they take down his turret. Nothing to do there, and a little bit of a rebuttal after an overzealous fight there from Azubu Frost, which I thought they had quite easily.
I really thought so too. They were up in gold, they had the Baron buff. Looks like they could have closed that out, but now they're really paused until Guardian Angel is done. Of course, as I say that, Guardian Angel is done now on Ezreal. Now Woong might finally be tanky enough to withstand the burst combo. There's no guarantee though. The one thing you've got to worry about is with Guardian Angel, you won't die right away. You'll revive a few seconds later, but you only come back with 750 health. If there are cooldowns back time for Invictus, 750 health is nothing for Trinity Force, Jarvan, and a Nocturne. So if they can initially dunk and chunk down onto Ezreal and kill off Woong from Azubu Frost, they're still going to be fine. But all the resistances that he has now, he's running 150 armor, 128 magic resist. Honestly, I feel like finally he's actually going to be hard enough to kill, but who knows? If IG can keep scaling up, if they can keep over-damaging his defenses, that's going to be the make-or-break point here. Can Woong die?
And, you know, you can tell that at least Kid right now is having fun. He's completely set up his items exactly like Woong has throughout the inventory. He actually moved around the Negatron cloak as he bought it. So these guys still mentally in the game, but still composed as well. They're not down. They don't feel down on each other. They're really ready to play here in the championship. And they are just doing a perfect job. Right now, they are 9 kills ahead of Azubu Frost, and the gold is only a 400 gold difference. Barons and turrets have been taken down. Dragon control has went back and forth. I believe it's at 2-2 now, and we are just seeing an amazing game here between the two of Asia's best teams.
This is such an all-star match overall. I've loved everything that has happened so far in this game. The Baron steal from Azubu Frost really putting them back into the mix. I mean, they're 2-0 on Baron. It's crazy here. There's pressure really everywhere on the map, and the teams are very different in their team fight strategies as well. So it's just a mix of different styles the whole way through. And so, you know, it's going to be difficult here for Frost. You know, if Ezreal can live, that's a big deal. If he really can't, I think they're going to have to rely on Shy. And the pressure's on him. It's difficult because he's the newest member of that roster. We talked in the intro about Loco Doco leaving that team for Startail, and they had to bring Woong down. Well, the replacement for Woong's top lane was Shy. And, you know, his name, it's actually fitting just like with RapidStar. He's a little bit more timid of a player. You know, the pressure's been on him the entire time. Could he fill Woong's shoes in the top lane? He's got to do it here if they want to win this match.
Quick jump on and then never move on to Jack. Now, Freak, we just saw Invictus Gaming win a huge fight. Let's talk a little bit about why that open inhibitor is actually keeping them from pushing any farther.
So the difficulty here is ultimately that anything can turn into a bad aggression here, but a fight's going to start here by Dragon.
XiaoXiao going down. He may get quite hurt. He tries to jump back to his teammates. Zzitai coming up with a kill, but he is falling fast. XiaoXiao falls, and right there as well, the 1-for-1 coming out, and it looks like they will continue to pressure on this fight. A double kill coming up top for Shy as he puts himself in the middle. Illusion going down as well, and they are continuously fighting this one in the jungle. I think that's hurting them a little bit. The vision is back and forth denied, and it comes out very big in the side of Azubu Frost. Kid looking to finish off one more kill. A great arcane shift out of the Gatling helps him to stay alive. The Arcane Angel is still up.
This is so good now for Frost and Woong. Finally surviving the beginning of a fight. IG spent all their effort killing off RapidStar's Vladimir, and that was a lot of damage. But when you have a living Ezreal with items in the background belting out damage, you can see they actually were able to kill off Zzitai. Shy just went in there, picked up a double kill early on. Really one of the major impetuses here. It's a 3-on-1 in the base. IG needs to respawn to keep the Nexus alive.
XiaoXiao just trying to pull the damage through himself, but Woong focused right on that Nexus turret. Drops the first one. And Freak, I think this would be a great time to just talk about how this is opening up the base.
This is really now a very open scenario here. You can't really let if IG goes for a Baron and tries to sneak it, Azubu Frost can just kind of dive in and just run down the mid base and win it for free. They've got to be very careful about exactly what happens here because Invictus has a base in shambles. Only one turret keeps their Nexus alive. They've got to kind of sit near mid at all times. The first thing they have to watch for is the minion wave in the mid lane. They can't let it shove back to their base. If the minions are there, they're just going to dive right in and close the game out. They've got to spend a lot of effort shoving these minions away. That gigantic super minion you can see shoving this mid lane is a very, very big threat here. They've got to keep those killed and keep that wave outside their base.
You see Woong now picking up some finalized items. We'll see what he goes back to build here. XiaoXiao and Illusion grabbing up some buffs. Or rather, that was Wraiths. And moving into mid, it's just Alistar, Jackson, Vladimir hanging out right now. We do have a replay of that last fight to really just see what happened at Dragon.
And pay special attention to Shy. He's going to be the MVP here on Jackson. Intuition goes off a little bit caught here, but they're going to turn back around and go for the damage out. But look at the burst coming down, picking up that kill, but they just check it out. Shy in the front, damage, damage, damage the whole way through. You see them trying to flash out, trying to stay alive, but it just does not matter. He is wrecking everybody's day right here. CloudTemplar as well in the front line, taunting everyone together. And you can see Kid trying to help out, but he's not quite able to.
As they all quickly move back into position, the pings are going down. Freak, Baron is up, and this is the Baron dance. Who brought their shoes, and who's ready to go for the longer amount of time? You see some movement from both teams. Invictus trying to move in. Is Azubu coming from the top? They will come from the bottom. XiaoXiao getting hit with a mystic shot there. They will be able to tell. Looks like they're pulling the loop around. I believe it was Counter Logic Europe that did this, faking the Baron and loop around, but there's vision on it, so it's not going to play as much of a role as it did in that previous game. The Guardian Angel onto Jarvan is up. Woongs is up as well. So this fight is going to go for a little bit longer than usual with a special focus on those champions. Ezreal is going to be in the back of this fight, Freak, as they try to start it off. The dance goes out, and it looks like IG is trying to bait this one out, saying, yeah, we're taking it. But with the long-range initiation, they know not to. Jarvan jumps in, but it's on Alistar. The ulti goes off from him, mitigating so much damage. They jump onto Zzitai. The Zonius goes off. Who will they focus next? Illusion is quite low as well. Zzitai will fall. Kid goes down. MadLife, Illusion, they're all falling. And it is going to be a huge pickup here. Another one goes down. PDD left with a sliver of health.
Reviving up with the Guardian Angel, trying to jump over the wall. Looks like a flash from CloudTemplar. Can he chase down PDD here? But it doesn't much matter. See, the minions are dead now. They've actually killed the turret on the Nexus. Woong's going to dive in for the base.
They do have Woong going. Zzitai and Templar are right behind as they chase from mid. He's going to be by himself, though, taking down the Nexus. The first game of the day. It does not daunt Azubu Frost. Azubu Frost will defeat Invictus Gaming.
Good job, Azubu Frost breaking that curse. Damage goes out. There's the kill. Next called Azubu Frost starting up the World Championship 1-0, proving themselves to be that favorite.
An amazing game and one that really faltered for Azubu Frost in the beginning. Invictus had many tricks up their sleeve, but those instances weren't brought into the team fights. They said, we know how to team fight. Let's practice these that will give us the upper hand, but that couldn't be controlled.
Yeah, a great set of openings here from Invictus, but it was a couple of really, really nice team fights. They had a nice synergy there, Invictus. They had kill the Ezreal, let Zzitai carry because he can't be killed anymore. But two major things happened. Ezreal finally stopped dying, and their top laner, Shy, just got the damage he needed. Even if Ezreal did drop out, it didn't matter. That Jax got to late game status. The lane swap was there trying to shut down Jax early on, and it worked. The strategy from Invictus was so good. They set up so many strong early and mid-game advantages, and up through the first 30 minutes, they had everything going their way. I mean, Baron steals aside, they had everything going their way. They made a lot of correct moves. But Frost, finally, with the Baron steal especially, really helped them catch back up, kind of level out that playing field, some really good pressure in the mid lane as well, and they finally got themselves the late game they wanted.
You know, Freak, let's see how this affects the standings. We said it earlier, Invictus Gaming to go on now to play a doubleheader, but that's a win for Azubu Frost.
This is really, really good. Frost, they're going to look at the rest of this lineup and realize, guys, we beat one of the favorites. We're ready to go for the rest of this. Now, if you don't count tiebreakers, you're going to sort of realize that you need to go 2-1 or 3-0 in your group. 2-1 still available here for Invictus. Again, Frost is a heavy favorite. Invictus losing a close match to one of the best teams in the world doesn't mean you're down and out. They need to be they need to have resolve and be resolute and realize, guys, we lost one match, but it's okay. We can win the other two. Invictus about to play their second match against Counter Logic Gaming North America. That's going to be a really important game for them. This is a very do-or-die moment for Invictus in the near future. Frost, they're going to feel much more secure. They've still got to win some more games to get themselves through, but they're looking really pretty right now.
So Invictus Gaming not getting all of their picks there, but we did see Kid playing against his favorite champion. We're actually going to look at a replay of that ace as we listen into the players as well.
이제한테 일단 공 썼어. 이제 앞으로 가. 아 잠깐만. 이겼어. 야 그렇게. 나 지금 뒤에 때리고 있어 지금. 녹턴 나 녹턴. 자르바. 이겼어. 미드가. 그냥 바로 찍고 미드가. 죽여 이 개새끼. 죽여 이 씨발 새끼. 야 일로 와 이 개새끼야. 이 존만한 새끼야. 죽여 이 갓나 새끼들아. 오케이.
Freak, it was a great momentum to just keep going for the base. That fight came out of nowhere. I think it was a wrong initiation on Alistar.
I think it was up to Invictus, though. I think that with the inhibitor dead, with the minions just, knocking at the front door, with Baron on kind of on the way, Frost had all the tools they needed to force any kind of fight they wanted. They knew Invictus had to defend their base. They had to defend Baron. Invictus had to make a one do-or-die moment and say, nope, we've got to go in now. We have to force this fight before they get Baron, before they bait our base any longer. An inhibitor down means the base will push itself and actually kill the turret for you. We saw that actually happen. That final turret fell on its own without any support from the rest of that team. Invictus knew they had to fight and win that exact battle. If they won, they could keep their base alive, get Baron, and keep it going. But Invictus had to fight there. But that do-or-die moment came a little bit too late. Azubu Frost just simply scaled themselves up, and it was just crushing from Shy on Jax, really the playmaker at the end there.
Freak, can it really factor into the gameplay that pushing that top turret does allow Shy to farm more, does allow him more chance to roam around the map and not have to worry about, a consistent turret lane?
I think it was overall the right choice for them to push down the turret. And actually, I would have liked, at least on Invictus' side, to see Illusion camp that top lane more. We saw him show up time and again and force those advantages. And getting 2 turret kills like that makes the entire lane bare. Yes, you'll be on your own side of the map. Yeah, it's a little bit safer for Shy. But with no turrets to run to, when you're fighting Invictus, not even turrets are safe for you anyway, but with no turrets there, they should have been able to dive Shy even more. They let him breathe a little bit too long, and he kind of caught up to that end game.
So we saw, guys, as Azubu Frost did what they needed. They didn't out-aggress, but they did help to get into the counter ganks, which was a key for Invictus Gaming. Azubu Frost coming out with the win, but we're coming up next. Invictus Gaming takes on Counter Logic Gaming, North America. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more League of Legends action. League of Legends Season 2 Championships.
They are trying to... A lot of great names in there, but... Late bullies, but your mechanics really playing the swing advantage really well right now.